This is not something I'm just saying. You have actually been my favorite agent
Thank
on the
you.
show since the start because I think you're an incredible businesswoman and personality. So I'm really excited. I would assume you don't know anything about Willow yet. Is that fair? I can give you just a little bit of
Sure,
background on
yeah.
it. Yeah, so we're based in Toronto. I'm in Vancouver on the West Coast, but what we're doing is really democratizing commercial real estate. So the company, we buy commercial buildings and then we'll break them into 100,000 units and anybody can purchase a unit of a building. So we're sticking in the $2 to $20 million range, which is small potatoes, I know, for an agent of your caliber. And that allows, our clients to buy individual units. They can buy up to 10% of a building. So we do get high net worth, but really the idea is just to make an asset class that's so hard to get into a little bit more accessible to
Mm-hmm.
the average person, especially up in Canada. There's nothing like that really here happening yet.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, I'll start off just like Arsh, congratulations on another amazing season. I
Yeah.
was, it must be just, is it a big sigh of relief to wrap this one up? The reunion is aired. How are you feeling as everything has wrapped up?
Yeah, I mean, everything is fine. We filmed 2 seasons back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Season five, I thought was a better season than season four personally. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was just much more going on. So it's doing really well. And obviously the reunion was fun to shoot. Obviously I didn't realize my face gonna become famous with this reunion because of reaction I had. So it's just funny to see how it all play out and how all the editing takes place. And then like all of a sudden you're like, I gotta tell you, editing is a big key in this show. Like, you can roll your eyes on something else and they put it on your face for some other scene. So all of a sudden you look like you're the devil or something. That's the thing with Selling Sunset. You're really on the mercy of the producers.
Absolutely. And that's so funny you mentioned that. But I love that you and Chriselle, like I saw her post making light of it and just recognizing that like you're a fierce champion of women in the show. And I think anybody that's been watching can see that. So I think, hopefully there is editing in that, but you've definitely earned the viewers' trust, I think, in knowing that you come from a good spot.
I mean, yeah, I was surprised, because we talked so much about her and Jason, the whole reunion. I mean, think about it. We filmed this reunion 6 hours, but you only got to see 1 hour. So 6 hours got shrunk to 1 hour. Out of the 6 hours, we probably talked 4.5 hours about Jason and Michelle. So he cried, she cried, he cried, she cried, Mary cried, I cried, everybody cried. So that's why I was a bit surprised. I actually did not know she moved on and she's happy. And obviously it's a new person. It's not it's not the same person that she dated in the past. I was surprised, but I'm happy for her. Like, I don't care who she dates, as long as she's happy. So if G Flip is, making her happy, that's great.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you guys spend a lot of time together outside of the show? We see the filming, but is there a lot of social time you get together?
I know the girls do. I'm just in Miami, so I'm a little bit more isolated than them. I'm sure if I was more in LA, I would spend probably a little bit more time. But
Mm-hmm.
I am away. I mean, I'm only in LA, frankly, when we film the show. So I stay in touch with them. I message them and obviously Instagram and all that stuff. Just trying to stay in touch as much as possible, given them on the other coast.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you are there, I think one of the things you add to the show, and I imagine real life in the office as well, is you have a natural knack for diffusing situations in a really humorous, light way, but you don't shy away, I think, from the issue at hand, which is always really impressive. You hit the nail on the head, always. And where do you think that knack comes from for you?
Yeah, I'm very honest. I could have been even more honest, but I feel like it could take me to the wrong direction because people do say, oh, Maya is a gossiper, Maya is an instigator. But the problem is we do a reality show. And if I'm not going to say anything, then I'm boring. Then if I say something, oh, I'm an instigator. So you really can't win. So I just try to be really like me and honest and ask the right question because I know what producer want us to talk about. I know what they're looking for and what kind of comment they would want to probably would keep at this point. Um, so, I mean, I'm coming from a good place. Like, I'm not coming to attack anyone or fight with anyone, but it is hard because the show is a lot of drama. So I just try to be careful and just, yeah, be authentic, as honest as I can without hurting people because I can also say things that hurt people. And that's just, it's really not who I am. Like, I don't really care. But Davina made a good point. She told me you get paid to care. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. We get paid to care. So I have to say something. Otherwise, I would just be like, you know, a background in the show, which I feel like I'm already semi a background, but you know, I try my best.
I saw you say that somewhere, which I thought was it was a good way to put it. You're like, this season was more drama, so less Maya. And I think we all miss seeing more of you on the screen, but you did go in for a couple of big events like the Brokers Open. What are those events like, actually being there in person? Like, thinking as a professional, you're at these events, it's a professional situation. There are all these personal things happening. What's that experience like for you, especially as somebody who is more, observing this?
I mean, usually when production does big events, they expect it to be some sort of drama. At the finale of season 4, we didn't think it's going to be drama. We really thought Christina's just going to come and talk to Heather and hash things out, and it's going to be fine. Then she walked away and she cried, and then Heather got mad. So all of a sudden, it became like more drama than it was. That was Jason's, event. Then the Brokers Open with Chelsea and Christine. Unfortunately, it was a heated argument between Amanza and Christine that kind of like shifted towards us, where we were just all sitting there. But it is tricky because, yes, we know production looking for drama because that's what sells. I wish it was just a real estate show. Unfortunately, every season it became way more drama than season 1, for instance, if I can compare. But that's what sells, and people are hooked on Selling Sunset. So I'm judging and criticizing like the whole heaviness drama, but I guess really people just love it.
I hear you. And I think that brings a point that I know was talked about on the reunion as well. As the show has gained so much popularity, the fashion and the glam is just it's incredible. And you play it down, but you're also like this stunning woman, and you guys are all so professional. Like, is that the day-to-day at the office? Everybody looks like this, or are those just like big filming days?
That's how I was like laughing. I'm like, well, let's just be honest. Nobody really dressed like that. Especially in LA when you're really running around with clients and showing houses. Look, don't get me wrong. The outfits, I think I give them credit. I mean, good for, Christine and Chelsea and Emma and Trishelle for, putting and Mary and Amanza and Davina. Literally all of them for stepping it up and making it more interesting, because people do tune in to watch the sexy houses and the sexy ladies in sexy outfits. But in real world, I mean, I just have to be honest. Nobody dressed like that. Nobody put like some crazy color platform with mini skirts and mini shirt and, a shirt that reveal, show your stomach. I just don't think it's professional. I mean, in the real world, but granted, we are a reality TV and we sell something else apparently besides homes. So I get it. I mean, I give them credit for that. That being said, in the real world, and I've been doing it for almost 10 years, I mean, this is not usually how real estate agents do dress like. And we are a different flavor of show, I guess. So I think the real estate in our show is really the backdrop, and the drama and the characters are more out there. So for me, like I do real estate, for 10 years, and it's just tough for me because I need to find a fine line. Okay, where am I still standing out in the show? Without losing respect or credibility because I'm wearing something too scandalous, or I'm yelling at someone and I become all crazy. Because frankly, it can also hurt my career. Like I can lose clients. So I have to just be careful. That's why I try to keep it more toned down and professional in that sense of the fashion. So I wear nice dresses, but they're not like crazy and loud. It's just very more professional in real estate. And people say, oh, Maya is so conservative. I'm not conservative, but you sell people like the best asset, and they buy the expensive asset. It's real estate. So you have to find the fine line. And hey, if it works for the other girls, then Chelsea said, oh, we changed it, we evolved, great, whatever. But for me, I feel like it's still the same with my clients. And if I'm going to show up with a crazy outfit, I don't know if they're going to judge me or if I'm going to lose them maybe as a client. So.
And I think, as a professional woman watching the show, I don't think there's a woman in business who hasn't had challenges towing that line and finding your own identity as a professional woman. And so for me, it's actually refreshing to see that you maintain that professionalism, you maintain that, there is something to your outfit and how you present yourself. And so is, the onus when you're thinking about your career bigger picture, does that help you? Is that what helps you maintain that professionalism, just keeping that focus on real estate?
Yes, I'm just super focused on real estate. I worked really hard, and real estate takes time. So I'm at the point now. I'm still licensed with Jason in California. In Miami, I have a team of 3 girls. I'm trying to grow my team, and it's very important for me to just stay focused and stay professional, because I'm not trying to be a Hollywood star. If some of the girls want to be a fashion icon or Hollywood star, that's fine. They should be doing what they're doing. But if they want to do really real estate for real 100%, I think, you have to present yourself a little bit different, whether if it's on Selling Sunset or in social media. So it depends on the girl's priority, and that's okay. Everybody can have different priorities. My priority is literally now to grow my team in Miami and get more clients in Miami. That will take me serious, and okay, I can trust this girl with my real estate properties.
Absolutely. And, it's a good point. Everybody does have different priorities. And I think we get some glimpses on the show of, you guys are dealing with so much in your lives as well and as friends together. And is there something that you wish the viewers got to see more of in, your friendships with each other and the way you actually do champion each other professionally so much?
Yeah, and that's the thing, like we all support each other. So I wish actually producers will show more women empowerment versus this group against this group or this person or whatever. I get what they're trying to do. If you see they shoot a lot of Chriselle, Emma, and Mary, they will not shoot me, let's say, with Chriselle having lunch or whatever, or with Heather. They try to do more group and cliques. I guess that's their part of their decision. Or I'm good friends with Davina. They never show us together either. But that, generally speaking, we all support each other. So I wish, yes, we will see more of that versus, one person who says something and everybody like, oh my gosh, why did she say that? And how did she say that? But that's okay to have a little bit of drama, but I feel like we are successful, smart women. So why not showing more of the positive side versus we are bullying or we're attacking and confronting, and it's not the case.
Yeah, like let's focus on the really incredible piece here, which is this group of women that are, of course, beautiful, but they're also smart, funny, ambitious. And I think that's a much more exciting story. And you've gone back between LA and Miami for so long. And as you're talking about the evolution of the show and as it's blown up, and in this season, I think it was surprising and sad to hear that, you're taking a step back from the LA office. Was there a catalyst for that decision?
Well, when I filmed season 4 and 5, I was also pregnant with my 3rd child who I lost, unfortunately. So I'm like, there is no way I can even do it. I'm going to have a baby, another baby, and I'm going to have 3 kids. That being said, I still have 2 kids and a husband in Miami, and it is hard. I flew every week to film the show for 2-3 days, and I had to have, in-laws watching my kids with my husband and a part-time nanny, and my mom came, and everybody really tried to help for my family so I can do the show, and I'm very lucky and thankful for that. Just moving forward logistically is very difficult. And I fly all the way there and I shoot like, I don't know, 3 real estate scenes, and they only keep 1, and the other 2 didn't even make it. And it's not just me, all of us, like we film, and then some stuff stays in the editing room. But logistically, it's just difficult on me. And it takes a toll on me because I am a mother, I have my work here. So it's just a lot to fly back and forth. So I don't know what will happen in the next seasons. We'll see. I just know it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to do the same crazy commute. Maybe cameos I can do, but we'll see. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, even if I do cameos, I know what producers want. They want something crazy and sexy as fashion, and they want drama. And I don't want to give them the drama because I don't want to fight with any of the girls. And
Right.
I'm not going to dress like a fashionista either. So what's left? I mean, am I just going to be an office background? Is it really worth traveling for it? I don't know.
Of course, like you said, your priorities shift. And I was so sorry to hear about the loss of Mason. I can't imagine what the last 6 months have been like for your family. I would love to hear about how that's shapes the philanthropic work you're focusing on now. Like, tell us about, how this has impacted you and what you're prioritizing next.
Yeah. we with the show, we're always so focused about, I wouldn't say the shallow things, but really the shallow things. It's like, oh my gosh, this article says this about us. What are we doing? And when do we promote the show? And it's just like, it's fun stuff, and we're very lucky. And again, I'm very thankful for it. But when you have such a trauma and tragedy in your family, it really put everything in perspective. And that's why I'm like, okay. And I became more paranoid, like, what if something happened to my other kids, and what if something happened to my husband, what if something happened to me? So it really affected me a little bit. And I was never that person who suffered from anxiety and trauma, but it did create something with me. So that's why I'm like, do I really want to fly every week to film a show and be away from my kids? What if something happened? It's a lot of things that go through my mind. And I think it's important to always really realize, okay, let's just take a step back and think what's important in life, and not be so caught up on the little things, and what this person say, and so on.
Of
But look,
course.
the show, who knew it's going to be such a success? So I'm happy. I managed to squeeze 5 seasons out of it, at least.
Yeah, exactly. And now, you can spend that time in Miami focused, with your family. And as you're, going through this change, which is huge, you don't suffer a loss like that, I think, without deeply changing, so much of who you are. Like, is there something that you wish more people knew about how to better support mothers who have suffered a loss like this?
Yeah, I share my story on social media just because I'm not like some famous celebrity, but I have a good amount of following, and obviously I'm always pregnant in the season, so people always make fun of it. As a woman, it's not easy to get pregnant, and I have a lot of people who are going through IVFs and suffer miscarriages and pregnancy loss, including myself before I got pregnant with Aiden. Going through a stillbirth is something that I shared on social media, and I was amazed actually how many women experience literally the same, very similar story to mine, and or even, any stillbirth. And they message me that I'm helping them. So it's just so inspiring to help other women and know that I can maybe, let them know they are not alone, and we can do things together. And obviously for women who are pregnant, just to pay attention to movement of your baby. And if something is off, really just go to the ER. Don't just be, nonchalant about it. I had a lady that she messaged me last week. She's like, you saved my son's life because I felt my baby less moving, and the doctors wanted to send me home, and I literally read your story and I insisted, and she delivered the baby, and she had like 2 knots around the umbilical cord. So thankfully the baby is okay. But she told me, you saved my son's life, just so you know, because you shared your story, and I was more tuned to my pregnancy. So that's another exposure that I get from Selling Sunset. That, if I would just be a regular mom, I don't know how many people would know. And I think it's great that I can help taking my trauma to a more positive way, I guess, if you want to call it this way.
Well, it's a way of manifesting your love for your son, I think, and
Yeah.
sharing that with women. And and I have to say personally, to thank you for it. I am the aunt of an angel baby, to a
Oh,
very similar story to yours, and you've touched so many more moms than you know. So I just hope that you have done that, supported and inspired more people than you know.
thank you.
So
I really appreciate it. I didn't expect to come in tell me that, but as you can see, like, stillbirth is 1 out of 200, but it's just more common. I got so many messages from women, and I try to reply. If they send me an email, I always reply. If they send me a direct message to IG, it's just a little bit more tough to check all the messages because I get so many. But I do try to take a time in my day and just reply to people and acknowledge their loss, because I think it's very important.
absolutely. And you're doing it. And it's hard to believe we all have the same 24 hours in a day because all
Yeah.
the things you're doing, and you're still taking time to answer moms. And I do know moms that you have responded to, which is just so incredible.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah. So,
nice.
so thank you so much for doing that. And it's, that's not even all you're doing. You also now have launched a real estate course. So you're finding another way to support and empower, real estate agents through that again. Like, I would love to hear about that as well.
Yeah, since season one with Selling Sunset, so many people message me, hey, I want to get my license. What do I do? Or I just got my license. What do I do? Can you give me tips? And I wish I had time to send an email and tell people what they need to do. But it's not like one word or two word, and it's gonna take me forever. So I'm like, let me just launch a real estate course. It's $395. People can afford. I mean, I think it's affordable for $395 for a course. And I shot videos. I worked on the script and just kind of like tips and advice that I can tell other agents on what to do from the beginning. Like when I started, like nobody told me what to do. I just got my license and that's it. I'm like, okay, what now? Now what? So I just try to give them a little bit more direction and inspire them. And it's a link to my course. Everybody can just click on the link, watch it at their convenience. It's not live or anything, but I'm very proud of it. I was doing it while I was filming the show, so I literally film me talking to the camera for my course, and then at 3 hours later I took a flight to LA to film Selling Sunset. So it's been a very hectic few months while I was filming and doing the course because it took time, but I'm proud of it.
Yeah, as you should be. And you're right. I think that's a very reasonable ask of an investment to invest, in your future as an agent.
I mean, I invested in a real estate coach. I paid $1,000 a month for a real estate coach. So,
wow.
And I know it's hard for some people because it's a lot of, I mean, for some people it is a lot of money, but you got to invest in yourself. You do. And that's just like part of being in real estate. Like you spend money, unfortunately, to make money. And if you don't have the money, then try to maybe save and invest cut a couple of whatever Starbucks and restaurants and clothing, and there you go, here's your money. So I invested in coaching and all that stuff when I started. I did the same thing.
Yeah, and my entire career has been focused on investing and how do we empower people to do that. It's a different type of investment. It might not be you're buying a property or you're buying a stock right now, but you have to see yourself as something worth investing in and putting that time in. And do you have, if there was an ideal outcome for agents that take this course, like what you would really love to impart to them, what would that be?
It just takes, so first of all, consistent. You really have to be consistent and patient because it takes time and success doesn't come overnight, and you really have to work hard. And I always network. Even with the show, I have clients who flake on me and I lose deals. And I just had a deal cancel on me yesterday, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But you have to move on and focus on the next deal and just try to really hustle to get clients. You always have to prospect for new people. It never ends. And even me with my exposure, I don't know anyone in Miami. Like I need to network. I need to meet people. So I'm starting from scratch in Miami too.
And I think, I appreciate you saying that because I think it's easy to look from the outside and see just the upside of all the hard work you've done. And so then people coming into the industry, not recognizing all the no's that you have to get a yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
We see it on Selling Sunset and we make a phone call or we walk in, hey, let's ring the bell. The deal is closed. I wish. That's why everybody, I think, get their license. They think we're just walking around with like hot outfits and ring the bell and that's it. It's done.
And that's it.
It takes way more than that.
Absolutely. And I know that you grew up with, that real estate background. So it's always been a part of your life. But I think, the focus on the course and empowering agents, empowering people to build a career, it resonates with us in particular as well, because we're trying to empower more people to get access to real estate. And what do you think is so powerful about being able to invest in real estate?
I think it's a sense of like success because you have your money, you invest in real estate, you have an asset, you can buy it, you can sell it, you can grow from it, you can take one asset, maybe sell it and get buy something bigger. Or there are so many like opportunities to be successful and make money when you invest in real estate. You just have to invest right. And I think it's amazing if you can do it and you can own your own basically property, any property. I think it's incredible.
So it's really just that creative and different ways to grow wealth, and there's so many different types of the real estate market, right?
Exactly. You can do income property. You can maybe live in a duplex and rent the other unit. You can just buy a small property and rent it. And then you can maybe go to a commercial property, shopping centers and so on. I work with investors too, and I see how they just very successful and they make money from buying something small and then grow to bigger and bigger properties. I think it's great. It's a great way to create wealth.
Absolutely. And your focus on the show has been more on residential, but I know too you have that tilt towards desire on development. And we got to see a little piece of that in the last couple of seasons. Tell me about, your desire to be involved in that stage of the real estate process.
And I'm not there yet. I mean, it will be nice to put some of my money with an investor in the developments and get, the proceeds from the sale. I just love seeing dirt and empty raw land and then see what's been built over the course of time and the love and the work that takes, that people put into it. And I just know a lot of developers in LA. So I've been working with them and, you sell them something and then you get the listing on the back end after it's done. So I think it's a great way to also make money because you find them the land, but it's a lot of work, right? You have to find them the right property. So when they sell, they actually make money because, they have to pay for the land and they have carrying cost and the cost to build. Like it's not that simple and it takes like whatever, 2 years, sometimes 3 years, depends what they build. So you have to make sure you're smart and you know what to sell them and what makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It sounds like definitely a more complex piece to the puzzle. And so that's, I think, where your experience shines through that, you don't seem afraid to jump into the more challenging, complex areas of the real estate world.
Yeah, no, developers are great because, they might be crazy, but there is no emotions there. It's all about the numbers. So sometimes it's a little bit easier than a regular, buyer or seller.
It's such a good point because, like there's the money, the ticket on the building might be higher, but it's development, it's professional money versus somebody who's buying a home, which is a very emotional purchase.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you look at real estate, like commercial real estate versus residential? Like, as somebody is looking at those two as investment options, like what are some pieces of advice you have or thoughts on the two different sectors?
I think you always have to run the numbers, even with residential. I mean, let's say if you're this market, for instance, with residential, you're probably going to overpay for your property because the market, you are in a seller's market. But the question is how much you're going to overpay for the property. Like, are you going to lose big time if you're going to sell it? Or are you going to be okay if you hold on to it for a few years? So I think it's important to always kind of like look at the numbers, look at the history, what sold in the last couple of years, just to get an idea of the inventory. That's residential. Commercial, obviously, it's just numbers, like what makes sense, how much rent you get, how much expenses you have, and then what's your net NOI on your investment. So it's a little bit different. Sometimes I wish I did more commercial because I just like the business part of it. I'm just not as good as in Excel. If I was better in Excel, I would maybe focus more on commercial real estate. But my husband is so good with Excel, and I'm like, literally, I'm stuck at Excel. I just know how to calculate. I calculate a quick cap rate, but it's just I cannot put it together. I just do it very weird calculation in old school. And I know how to calculate my commission, but
yeah, that's important. Yeah, you know how to calculate that. I think too, that's what's nice. Like, and what I hope we're able to provide is because, we have a team that doesn't crunches the numbers so that our clients can just come on and buy a chunk without having to have that skill. Because I'm with you, Excel is a different language. It's a tough one to learn, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think as long as you bring in investors like this Excel sheet with numbers, then that's important because that's going to drive them to make a decision if it makes sense or not. So, yeah.
Absolutely. If you could, looking back on this whole phenomenon that's been Selling Sunset and this major shift in your career and your professional life, if you could give a piece of advice to your Selling Sunset self, what would it be?
Wait, piece of advice to who?
To your pre-Selling Sunset
self.
Oh, pre. So, yeah, just before this crazy roller coaster.
I would say invest in more like your branding and marketing. I think it's very important to brand yourself and market yourself before like Selling Sunset and all that stuff. Because Selling Sunset is a great exposure. It's a great marketing. It's free, but not everybody get a TV show. So you have to really like think outside the box on how to differentiate yourself from other agents and what makes you special. So I think branding, logo, and just market yourself. I think it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only now literally like with all my years, like I just now like branding myself as Maya Vander group, and like my logo and the look of it and all that stuff. And look how long it took me. So
yeah, well, congratulations. That's a huge milestone. Like, what are you most excited about in starting your own group?
I need to be accountable or not for other people. Look, they don't work for me. I don't pay them salaries. They're independent agents and they're basically on my team, but I want to make sure they're successful. I want to make sure they're motivated. So I have responsibilities. Before that, I'm like, I'm just a solo agent. Who cares? Nobody cares. But now I have responsibilities to potentially give them leads, to be responsive to them. We're doing another team photo shoot next week. So really try to do things as a team to keep them going, because real estate is, it's not an easy business, and you can really get discouraged easily if you don't close deals. So it's important for me to keep pushing my agents.
Of course, and it's interesting now because you've had that experience being an agent and having the broker, doing that for you. So it must be, do you have more empathy, I think, for Jason and Brett and their experience, especially managing that on TV?
I know, and they manage a lot of us, and I give them credit. I give Jason and Brett a lot of credit because they're extremely smart and savvy, and I have a lot of respect for them. I think as an agent, you really have to hold yourself accountable if you want to succeed. And you have to just wake up. Because, Jason doesn't call me and tell me what to do. But if I'm a sucky agent, it's kind of suck because I don't perform. So you have to really want to do real estate. You have to have that passion. You have to have, I call it the real estate bag. I have the real estate bag. You have to have that, I think, to be successful.
Absolutely. And is there, you've moved away from the LA office. Is there any chance we'll see you on screen again?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't even talked to producers yet, but maybe. Look, it's hard to let go of Selling Sunset. It is. I'm not going to lie. I just don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll see. I'll take it as it comes. Every week I cannot fly. Once a month, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I hope that it's Selling Sunset or something else. We would love to be able to watch part of your journey again, because
being me, criticizing the drama in the outfits, maybe I should just do an HGTV show or something, like a flip show, and that's it. It's probably my sweet spot, yeah, but probably less view and less popular, but so with Netflix, exactly. Well, with Netflix, it was a huge success.
Amazing. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Maya. But
I have a question.
Oh, you do, Arsh? Okay.
Yes.
Maya, I have a question for you. Did you really know those two Oppenheimer brothers for that long? Because it seems like, to me, Selling Sunset, as a male viewer, at the beginning, I actually got into it in the pandemic. You guys hit on something great. As a marketer, I really liked it. It was really smart. When everybody was stuck inside when they launched it.
I think that's when it actually really took off, in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because people were just bored at home. Yeah.
So definitely that's where I was. Me and my partner, we were just sitting at home watching it. We really got into it, but I was just always wondering, is this, because we Googled it right after, and we're like, oh, they actually have 90 agents or whatever it is. It's so this doesn't make any sense that there's 6 gorgeous women sitting here and that's all they do, but I was wondering, speaking to Steph's point earlier, it seems to me as a viewer, you really stood out as somebody who did this, this is your profession, and I felt some of them, it almost feels overproduced to the point where are these people actually agents, are they not agents, you know what I mean?
If you look at the Instagram, I'm kidding, no. And they're all beautiful. So here is actually how it really played. So when Jason opened the office, I knew Jason and Brett from the real estate industry because I was already an agent for 2 years before. I was with a different company. And I used to door knock up in Hollywood Hills. So I used to go and just literally door knock to try to get listings. And I used to see Jason's marketing package literally at the footstep of the house's door, and it was absolutely perfect and beautiful. And his office is right down Sunset Plaza. So I'm like, how am I going to compete with this guy? Oddly enough, I don't know, we were friends on Facebook. He did message me on Facebook. He's like, hey, I'll just open my own brokerage, me and Brett, why don't you come meet with us? So I'm like, I love their marketing. I love the fact that it's boutique. let me talk to him. So I ended up joining. I was the first girl, me and another guy, Graham, who is a big YouTuber, by the way, Graham Stefan. He's a great guy, by the way, for economy, and he does millennial advice, whatever. So it was me and him. And then I remember he told me, hey, I have this girl. She has a great network, but I don't know, like she used to work for, did like some Playboy promotions at the time. So I was like, I don't know, does it make the old brokerage going to look bad? But then if she has good network, who cares? And that was Heather. So Heather joined. And then it was, so Heather actually had a client, what's his face? The basketball guy who used to marry Kim Kardashian, Chris Humphries.
Humphries, yeah.
Yeah, so Heather brought Chris as a client. And Chris had his agent, Peter, who was the famous Peter from season 4. Yeah, him. So he joined with Christine to get her to the brokerage. So see how it works. So Heather came, with her client. Peter was his sports agent, and then he joined. And at the time, he was with Christine. So they both joined the Oppenheim group together. So all of a sudden, you have me, Heather, and Christine. Then Mary was just dating Jason. So she was like in and out of the office all the time. And then she got a license, and then she joined. So we already have Heather, Mary, Christine, and me. And then the Vina was working for in-house development, so she kind of like joined very last minute because she used to sell condos. And then they did cast Chriselle for the show, but Chriselle was already an agent who were licensed in a different brokerage. But they cast Chriselle for the show because when we filmed the demo for Selling Sunset, we had 2 girls, other girls, beautiful. One of them is Nicole. She was doing the show with the wedding with Mary. She was officiating the wedding. If you remember,
yes.
That's her.
Yep.
She's still an agent with the O Group. And my friend Joanna, who ended up leaving because she now works with the Altman brothers. So she left. So they had to find another girl. So they cast Chriselle, but Chriselle was an agent. So that's how we all end up, basically. So yeah, we all licensed. Okay. Now, is Christine doing a real estate full time? She's doing other things right now. Now she has her husband with the crypto business, and she does a lot of endorsements and fashions and all the other good stuff that come with the show. Chelsea was cast for the show, but she was also a licensed agent. So we all licensed agents. We all sell real estate. And Emma obviously joined because Emma then they dated Peter. So production obviously knew if they bring Emma, it's going to be a big steering between Emma and Christine, the battle of the blondes. And I like them both. But that's how it's. And Emma obviously does she has the food company. In case you didn't know, it's called Empanadas. So that's how it ended up. But the original was me, Heather, Christine, and Mary. Those were the original 4 girls. Yeah. That
is really. I always find the most interesting things are these backstories that they don't really ever touch on, because you have such a big fan base that like people want to know that information. We always talk about that. It's like, that would be so cool to even just have you guys talk about that in reunion. Like, people don't, it's Netflix. You can make it like 4 hours. People will sit and watch it all. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's TV, but it's not like network TV in that way. So that's really cool. I have another question. And it's on the Christine bit. This is just like, I just found this season.
You had to do it, Arsh.
I had to. I'm sorry. Like, we got the professional interview done. And
it's always us against Christine, huh? It's like,
yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, we actually got so tired of it, myself and my partner.
I got tired of it. I keep saying it in every interview. Can we just have real estate drama?
Yeah. What is up with that? And is she really that evil? Did she really spend the 5,000? Is that even a thing?
I know Christine for a very long time. I know her for probably 6 years at this point. And I like her. I think she's great for TV. I think she's great for reality TV. I always say she makes the show in a way. We all bring something, but she's the fun, crazy character in the show. She can be super cool, but then she does things, unfortunately, behind closed door that, doesn't really vibe with the other girls and not always as cool. Unfortunately, when things happen, obviously producers also jump on it. So they want us to talk about it. They want us to ask her, why did you do this? Blah, blah, blah. But I agree with you. I mean, season 4 was all about the engagement, and season 5 was just a lot of back and forth, then not a lot of girls, talk to her. So then you limit your scenes with, okay, who's going to film with her? So then they cast Chelsea, and Chelsea is like basically the BFF now. But now Chelsea is going to be in a little bit tough situation because she's friends with Christine, but then she's really good friends with Chriselle and Emma. So Hopefully the producer will not try to make her pick a side season 6. We'll see. I have a feeling that's where it's going to go. But yeah, I mean, I wish real estate has so much drama with clients, and it's not as easy. So I wish we had a little bit more of the negotiations, client lose it on you, kind of like Adnan. Everybody loved the $75 million listing because first of all, it was amazing, crazy listing, but also because Adnan was such a character and he was just like this, a seller that you don't want to get. Or so I personally love the real estate stuff. I like season 1. I like the guy that was hitting on me and I'm like, whoa, I'm married. I like that scene. I like the scene with Chriselle and Brett, negotiating, do we give them credit, do we don't? I like the scene that Christine and Heather went to a house and the keys, she didn't bring the keys and the client showed up. And so I personally love those real estate scenes. And I miss a little bit more of that versus us going to a beautiful house and then we start, boom, jumping to talk about, I don't know, Emma's empanadas or Christine or Vanessa's accent. Or I wish it was just more real estate, If I'm looking like a tired mom, it's Friday, I've been running around today. I'm cleaning my house, I have a cleaning lady who comes like every 2 weeks, but my house gets dirty every day because the kids and the dog. So I can't stand doing anything when my house is not clean. Like, I think I'm almost like obsessive. I don't have OCD. I just like that the house, is clean. So just running around the whole morning and doing stuff.
Oh, I get that.
But again, like to echo Arsh, thank you again. And truly, like, I think that you're incredible and what you're doing. Your advocacy work is incredible. And so please, keep on keeping on because so many people are benefiting from that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Trying my best to just be me, I guess.
Killing it.
And it really, like I said, it really shows through. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great as far as
thank you. Thanks,
thank
guys.
You so much
Thanks so much, Maya. Have a good rest of your Friday.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.